Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, serious stories first. We have 5 black women. They decided to go play a round of golf at the Grandview Golf Course in York County, Pennsylvania. And you guys know how we ladies do when we get together, might not have seen each other in a long time. You know, we gotta laugh, we gotta gossip, we gotta take selfies, we gotta hug, we gotta catch up on whose kids is doing what new jobs were obtained, who's left their husband, who's got a new boyfriend. That takes time, you guys. It seems that Grandview Golf Course had a problem with this. As a matter of fact, one of the employees told them that they were taking too long. I suppose they were holding up the course, and they told them to put some pep in their step. I guess when the ladies did not do so, they decided to let them know that they were giving them back their membership. And not only that, but they called the police. Now, this to me sounds quite excessive. I mean, calling the police because they're not moving along on the golf course. The ladies made the story public. It went viral. And once it did, then everybody was sorry. The co-owner, her name is JJ Chronister, she apologized. She said that she contacted all of the victims, and they're going to treat this as a learning experience, okay, for both their staff and the owners of the golf course. This story reminded me so much of the 11 ladies that sued the Napa Valley wine tasting train. You guys remember that? Remember they put the ladies off the train because they said that they were too loud, and the ladies ended up settling with the company for $11 million. $1 million each, basically. Yeah, this story sounds oddly the same. Although those ladies in the wine tasting train, a lot happened to them after that. I mean, a couple of them lost their jobs, and people were being bullied and on the internet, and calling them names and everything. I mean, it was a big deal. I don't know if this story will go that far, but we'll see what happens with that story there. And while we're talking about women that are treated wrong, let's also talk about this woman who was arrested in the Waffle House in Alabama. So on Sunday, around 3 a.m., ironically, about the same time that the white guy was shooting up the Waffle House in Tennessee, Shakisha Clemens and her girlfriend, they decided to go to the Waffle House. There was some sort of confrontation. The police was called out. When the police got there, Shakisha's friend started to record them as they aggressively arrested Shakisha, slammed her down to the ground, almost broke her arm, bending it behind her back, even told her that that's what they were going to do. Her breast was exposed, and everybody was upset and saying that she did not deserve to be treated like that as a woman, and as somebody who, from what we could tell from the video that Shakisha's friend had recorded, didn't seem to be all that aggressive. Well, the friend posted the video on Facebook, and of course the video went viral, and now NAACP and Shakisha's mother are all, calling to Waffle House and the police department. They want some answers. Why were you treating this woman this way? Now, Waffle House has come out with a statement fully backing up what happened, saying that the police were right in what they did, and their footage shows that Shakisha and her friend came into the Waffle House. They were drunk, that they had bottles of alcohol with them. The surveillance footage does not have any sound. However, you can see them arguing back and forth with the employees. The police are saying that the employees told them that the ladies were telling them that they wasn't taking the alcohol out, that they didn't know who they were talking to, that they would come back and shoot the place up, and were being very belligerent with the employees, and that was the reason why the employees had called the police to begin with, or at least a manager had told one of the employees to call the police. They did arrest her, and she was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Not many people are reporting on this, and I'm wondering if it is because of the surveillance camera and us not necessarily knowing exactly what happened. Either way it goes, though, it was very excessive for them to slam her down like that. These are 3 men against one woman, and I know it didn't take all of that to get her to comply so they can get these handcuffs on or whatever they were going to do. So yeah, you guys, they are really treating us black women terribly out there. I hated to see that video of her being thrown around like that. And again, this is another time where we just feel like the police, even if they do have to arrest anybody, that they're trained in being able to do so without throwing the person around unnecessarily. So okay, we'll see what happens with both of these stories. How do you guys feel about them both? Do you feel like the golf course was justified? Do you feel like the police was justified? There were reasons that both the golf course and Waffle House acted the way that they did, but do you guys believe that the punishment fit the crime, so to speak? You guys leave your comments about it below. Guys, and let's get to the fool of fucking niggatry. How fitting that it would start with Kanye. Listen, you guys, I don't have the patience for it today. Okay, can you tell my eyes is burning? Shit, I don't know if it's allergies or if it's the glue from me getting my eyelashes done. The fuck is that? Why does his car sound like that? Can you guys hear that? It is a Mazda. Why do you have your car sounding like that? You sound ridiculous. That has even annoyed me more, you guys. Anyway, this Kanye story. I'm not going to talk about it long because I honestly feel like Kanye is trolling. Kanye loves attention. I think Kanye likes to be looked at as somebody who might not necessarily be all that balanced. And he kind of basks in that. That is his place. We know that he had the breakdown before. So everybody kept telling me, oh, Roxanne, you got to talk about Kanye West. He's crazy. He's in the sunken place. Okay. He's under the spell of the Kardashian witches. I feel like Kanye loves to be in this space. Whenever he can get a reaction out of people, whether it's negative or positive, that is his thing. He's trolling, clearly so, and everybody is falling for it. Basically, whatever he says, he knows that it's going to rile you up and get you speaking even more about old Kanye West. I think that he likes being looked at as this person that is uncontrollable. We see his wife trying to do some sort of damage control, saying that he is a, what did she call him, a free thinker, and that people shouldn't be attaching his mental health to the fact that he just has opinions and that he can express them. Yeah, Kanye probably has some mental issues, but I really don't think that he is as crazy in this instance as people are trying to make it seem. Now, his first breakdown that he had, yes, I believe that that one was real. Now I just kind of feel like Kanye is doing things to get people talking. I mean, Kanye has an album that's coming out. He's got an album with Kid Cudi. He's got an album, Teyana Taylor's album coming out. He's got Nas's album coming out. He has a lot of music that's on its way. He's hit Twitter and y'all have ran with it. Every day is something just a little bit more stuntish. And everybody's like, oh God, did you hear what he said now? Shouldn't be a surprise that he was a Trump supporter. He said that from the beginning. So why everybody is now surprised that he's saying it again is beyond me. And controversy really does sell, you guys. So even though he's made all of these crazy statements, and all, you guys are still going to listen to his music because now you're going to want to hear what he's going to say. It helps him either way it goes. Now, what I do believe as well, though, is that people are getting tired of these antics from Kanye, and that him playing, pulling the crazy card, so to speak. Don't be offended by how I use the word, but, just, oh shit. Forgot this bracelet catches on there. Just him using this, I think that eventually people are going to get fed up, and a lot of folks are going to be tired of Kanye. So you can do this so much to the point where people don't feel like fucking with you no more. And I don't know if he's there yet, but he's getting close. Okay, and part of that is because people can only take so much. Okay, only so much of your foolishness, and then they're gonna be ready to just be like, you know what, enough. So I'm hoping that he pulls it back soon enough, or it might start to not work out in the way that he would want to. But yeah, I'm so tired of looking at Kanye. Everything Kanye, 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 Kanye. Y'all giving him exactly what he wants. Alright, you guys, let's talk about Meek Mill. You guys, I have gone back and forth about my feelings on this case and Meek Mill and him, violating his parole or his probation or whatever it's called. And I've had mixed feelings about it. So I'm going to give you guys the history of exactly how Meek landed in jail in November of 2017. So back in 2008, Meek Mill was charged in Philadelphia for assault and also drug and gun possession. He was sentenced to 11 to 23 months in jail, and he was given 7 years probation. The judge, Grace Brinkley, which is the lady that is still the judge to this very day, she gave him a short term, a heavier probation, and she felt that he had some musical talent, and that this would give him a chance to turn his life around and concentrate on his musical career. Maybe he would make a change for the better. He got out in 2009. Between 2010 and 2012, he kept testing positive for marijuana and opioid use. He didn't get jailed immediately, but they were marking that he was violating his parole. They also complained that he was having communication issues with his probation officer and his lawyer. The judge then said, you know what? They're not going to put him in jail. However, they are going to restrict his travel. He cannot travel outside of Philadelphia. Then in 2013, they say he violated his probation again because he was acting inappropriately on social media and also kind of talking crude and reckless in the courtroom. And then in 2014, he violated probation again for traveling outside of Philadelphia. So he was ignoring the court orders and he wasn't reporting to his probation officer. They also said that he had submitted a sample. It was supposed to be a urine sample, and it was cold water. The judge was pretty much fed up by now. His lawyer did argue that, as far as the no travel outside of Philadelphia, it was hard because he's an entertainer and that's how he makes his money. So they were asking that the court, would let up off of that travel restriction. But the judge was annoyed with him with that. So in 2016, he was sentenced to 90 days house arrest and community service. There were still some more issues after he got off of his 90 days of house arrest. There were 2 incidents. One, he was in the airport in St. Louis, and someone walked up to him and wanted to have take a picture with him or get his autograph, or they probably don't get autographs no more. Take his picture, and Meek Mill said no, he didn't want to. That person ended up getting into a fight with the person that Meek Mill was with, and Meek Mill tried to break up the fight because he was involved in that fight, even though he did not start it, and he was not fighting. They marked that as a violation, and then as another reason was because he was on a 4-wheeler riding through New York. I've heard mixed stories, something about maybe he was filming a video. I don't think he was filming a music video, but I know that they had posted it on Instagram. So that was considered a violation as well. And because of those 2 infractions, the judge was like, that's it. Your ass is going to jail. Gave him 2 to 4 years. Since then, it has been this never-ending fight to get Meek Mill out of jail. And that's been from big names all over. I mean, even the music world, the sports world, the political world, the civil rights world. I mean, everybody was trying to get Meek Mill out. And their reasoning was because they felt like he had been placed on probation for so long, there was no way that he could just stay on this straight and narrow. You're asking a person to be basically perfect for how long? I mean, 7 years and then 4 more years, and then, so it was going on and on. Every time he would do something, they would add on this exorbitant amount of time onto his probation, and then, basically there was no way for him to get out from under it. Okay, so that was what the argument is. And it's still very hard for me to kind of listen. I understand the fact that he was violating his probation and doing the things that he was doing because he had this drug addiction. It seems like it was marijuana and opioid. Seemed like he should have been having to have some sort of treatment for that, as opposed to him getting time tacked on to his probation. As far as him not doing what the court said and him traveling outside, well, that's the part that makes it hard. Okay, you already knew that that's not what you needed to do, but you were doing it anyway. You weren't talking to your PO. So it kind of makes it hard to 100% be on either side. The better part of me still believes that he shouldn't have been on probation for all that time. But then I cannot ignore that the law is the law, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, everybody knows. You can't just make up your own laws and rules and expect for there not to be any repercussions from it. So it's kind of hard for me. The situation is hard for me, but I still did think that probation for somewhere around 11, 12, 13 years is just excessive, and there's really no way. I mean, you can jaywalk. You can jaywalk and end up going to jail. That's a violation. And that sounds like being, petty and everything, but the fact that he got a ticket for driving a four-wheeler in New York, and he ended up having to go to jail for 2 to 4 years. Oh, let me mention at the beginning of all this, when he was originally arrested in 2008 for the gun and drug possession, it did come out that the police that arrested him was part of this ring of dirty cops, and that it was proven, and I think that person was prosecuted and everything. So when Meek got arrested, they felt like Meek was unfairly arrested, that he didn't really do what they said that he did, and that dirty cop had just planted those things on him. But for whatever reason, the judge hasn't taken any of that into consideration, and I believe that's because the judge thinks like, well, even if he was unfairly, in there, well, he still is doing shit that he ain't supposed to do now. Okay, he's still on drugs. He's still, traveling away from Philadelphia when I told him not to. He's still talking about the judge and being reckless on social media and all of this. So now the judge was like, well, I don't give a fuck that he shouldn't have, even though that happened, he still ain't been right because I've been telling him. So it's like, that part you don't hear too much of, but that is a very big factor, and I believe why everybody was really fighting to get him out. The Supreme Court finally did release him. The state Supreme Court finally did release him, ordered the judge to let him go, throw out everything. They're going to start the case over. So he is on parole, I believe it is. He is not 100% free or exonerated. He has to go through everything of getting those cases thrown out. He has to start over. And with that judge being there, it's kind of hard to not look at her as being somebody that is vindictive. The laws are just so strange the way that they work. You would think that the Supreme Court could remove her, but for whatever reason, I believe that they cannot. So she is still presiding over this case, and she seems very determined to preside over this case. And so I don't really know what's going to happen. I didn't think that I would be as happy as I was when I saw him at the Philadelphia 76ers game and him ringing the bell. And I mean, he looked like so happy, and I was happy for him. Nobody wants to see our black men in prison, but we also don't want our black men to be doing shit that they ain't supposed to be doing. Okay, so still mixed feelings about this, but the better part of me is happier that he's out. But what do you guys think? Okay, with all of those kind of what I told you, there's even more to it. You guys know we've talked about it, the judge, and supposedly, her having this thing out for Meek and wanting him to do some music with her and some people that she knew. I mean, there's a whole bunch more to the story. So you guys leave your opinions about it in the comments below. Are you happy that Meek is free? You guys, so aspiring filmmaker Jennifer Jarosik, she filed a lawsuit against Russell Simmons back in January of this year for $5 million. She cited that Russell Simmons had assaulted and raped her. She said that she had asked Russell Simmons to help her with the film that she was planning on making, and he invited her over to his place under the guise of helping her out, and when she got there that she was assaulted, that she was raped. So she's decided to file a lawsuit and wanted to get $5 million in damages. Russell Simmons has always maintained that he was innocent, that he did not rape this woman. Yes, he did know Jennifer. As a matter of fact, she had reached out to him plenty of times asking for his help on, different film ideas that she had, children's books, reality shows, and a documentary. And they said that Russell Simmons had donated money to her in the past to help her with certain projects, and also had put her in contact with a documentary filmmaker that could kind of lead her in the best direction. Not only that, but Russell Simmons did admit that they did have sexual relations in the past, but they had always been consensual. So he was saying that she was lying, basically. And the fact that she was asking for $5 million instead of wanting him to go to jail had kind of always made me kind of look at this whole case side-eyed. Well, lo and behold, now they're saying that the case has been dismissed, that both Russell and Jennifer, both their lawyers, had asked that the case was dismissed, which usually means that there was a settlement, even though we don't know that for a fact. If there was a settlement, how does that make you guys feel? Do you still feel that he could be innocent and that he had the money to make it go away? I mean, how would you handle this? If you knew you were innocent, you had this money, people were coming at you left and right, but if you had the money to make it go away, would you pay the person off, or would you take a chance of possibly going to jail unfairly, because it does happen, trying to fight for what you believe is right? But that's neither here nor there, because they've dismissed, and at least this case, Russell Simmons has won. So that's one for Russell Simmons. We'll see how the rest of these cases that are against him turns out. So this story, I'm not really clear on what's going on with KMichelle and Tamar Braxton. What I can tell you is I am tired of them both at this point. It's so unfortunate that these two are going back and forth in social media after they had both sworn off of going against each other. Let me tell you what I believe how this story started. So I told you guys last week about KMichelle being sick from her butt injections and how she had to have surgery, and I told you guys all of that story. Well, on the Steve Harvey talk show, Tamar was a guest along with Tammy Roman and somebody else, and he was talking to them about plastic surgery and how they felt about it. Tamar said that she wasn't against plastic surgery, but you couldn't go to a plastic surgeon who's advertising on Groupon because the shit is not going to turn out right. Some people saying that she was shading KMichelle. Other people say that she wasn't. I don't know if she was or wasn't. You guys, Tamar is such a throw the stone, hide your hand kind of person that I think that anytime that we feel like she's trying to be shady, even in times when she may not have been trying to be that, we automatically will jump to that conclusion. I don't know if she was or wasn't, you guys, but it was very convenient that it would come at the time that KMichelle had this surgery. Now, we know, I have heard KMichelle say in the past that she didn't know what was injected in her, that she had went to kind of a back alley person back in the day, and this was the result. Not necessarily Groupon, but not, a plastic surgeon that's approved by the, the Surgeons Association of America, or whatever you want to call it. So, Tamar saying that KMichelle, who probably is sensitive right now because of everything that is going on with her, came at Tamar and started talking about her nose and talking about, calling her milk dud head and all of this. And then, back and forth on Twitter. I didn't even read the back and forth between the two of them because, honestly, these two are so much alike. I like KMichelle. I can tolerate Tamar, but when they get into this mode, it's very hard to be on either one of their sides because the whole thing is just silly. And you just both end up looking like, to the Tamar fans, KMichelle looks like she's the bad guy, and vice versa to the KMichelle fans, and Tamar looks like she's the bad guy, and it doesn't go anywhere. Now you guys are back in that space that you were in when you guys weren't getting along, and I thought that everybody was trying to get out of that toxic environment of always fighting and everything and wanting to move on with their lives. I mean, I get it. It can be hard when people come after you and people come for you and you eventually want to speak out. But as far as KMichelle and Tamar's thing, you would think that both of them would have learned by now that this story doesn't change and it doesn't go anywhere. I just don't even know. I will say that I wish Tamar would grow her hair out some. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to say it. You can have a teeny weeny afro. I'm not saying that she has to have any hair, but this clean shaven, shorn look it is not becoming. And I know people are going to be upset with me, but I just wish that she would just let some fuzz grow, and she does not have the face for that. Some people do. Erykah Badu can be clean shaven, shorn. The one that plays Tasha, the loud one in the Tyler Perry movies, Why Did I Get Married? Her twin sister always wears her hair clean shaven, cut. That looks nice on them. Okay, so I'm not saying that I don't like that look. You just have to have the face for it, and I just think that Tamar doesn't. So I just wish she would just grow her hair back. That ain't got nothing to do with the story. But, yeah. I mean, just a little bit of fuzz, and I would be okay. But as far as KMichelle and Tamar, I just wish that they would not entertain and allow people to blow them up and get them all upset and wanting to be lashing out at each other and everything when you've worked so hard to not be that person anymore. That's it, you guys. Let me get to these quickies. You guys, so everybody is upset about the fact that Emily B was seen at Coachella with Fabulous. Okay, and all I can say is like what Ashley said, either she hadn't had enough, she's not ready to leave him. This is very, very common in the battered woman syndrome. If that is indeed what's going on in their home, there is nobody or nothing that can make her leave until she makes a decision for herself. So if she's gonna stay there with Fab, I can't even worry myself about it. Okay, we're gonna pray that, you know, the kids is okay and that they don't have to see their daddy beating up on their mama. Hopefully they working it out the best way that they can, but I'm not surprised at all. On a happier note, congratulations to Derek Fisher and Gloria Govan. On April 7th, they say Derek Fisher decided to take the first step in making Gloria an honest woman. Matt Barnes, you know, him and Derek didn't have the best of a start when these two first got together. Remember, Matt had to open a can of whoop ass on Derek because he was being slick and shady and not letting him know what's going on. But they have made monumental strides into getting along. Matt says that he's happy for him. You know, he's mostly concerned about his boys, and his boys love him, and Derek seems to love his boys, and that's all he cares about. Seems like all's well that ends well. This is a second marriage for both of them. Okay, maybe second time is a charm. And then babies, you guys. It's all this talk about babies. First story, sources are saying that Bambi and Scrappy are infanticipating. That has not been confirmed. There's a picture of Scrappy going around with Bambi and his daughter that looks like they were having lunch somewhere, and she was leaning over, and you can kind of see, I couldn't tell. It didn't look like she was pregnant to me. But if she is pregnant, very good for them, okay? They seem to be happy. They are married. They can afford it. I don't see no problems with it. So I don't know if she's not saying anything, if she is indeed pregnant, if she's not saying anything because she wants to wait until she gets out of the first trimester. You know how people do. But either way it goes, you know, it's all good. I'm happy for them if they are, because I honestly love them two as a couple. She seems to have been able to get Scrappy to become the man that he could always be. So congratulations to them. We don't know for sure, so we're gonna keep our good eye on them. And then we have confirmed congratulations to The Rock and his girlfriend Laura Hashian. They had their baby girl. This is baby girl number 2. Between the two of them, they've named her Tiana Gia Johnson. Okay, now even though this is their second baby together, The Rock has an older daughter from a previous relationship. Apparently Rock only makes girls. That means that us women is on top of Rock. You know you only get pregnant with girls when you're on top. Y'all knew that, right? Then congratulations are in order to Catherine Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge. She had her third baby, a baby boy, who as of yet we don't know what his name is. They have not named the baby boy yet. Normally it would have happened within the second day of the birth, but looks like they decided to wait an extra day because of observation of Anzac Day, which is a national day of remembrance in Australia. So, yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, it says right here, you guys, that they have come up with a name. It doesn't really happen too often when I'm doing my video. Yeah, it says here in this article, it says, and I quote, "With this child, we felt with the royal family ushering in a new era of acceptance, we've decided on a more global name," unquote. And it looks like they've named him Willarine Barack Lewis Marquavius Mountbatten Windsor. Willarine Barack Lewis Marquavius Mountbatten Windsor. Willarine. You know, that's William and Catherine together. Yeah, I'm just playing, y'all. They ain't named their baby that. Lastly, you guys, the Avengers Infinity War comes out tonight. So pumped. You guys don't even have to ask. You guys know I am a fangirl for all things Marvel Comics. My son called me today and said, Mom, nothing can go wrong today. He's going to see it tonight at 10:45. I ain't, you know, rocky old bitch, got to go on the weekend. I got my tickets for Saturday and I'm excited. Are you guys excited? It's going to be so many of the superheroes in this movie. Ooh, and there's so many really good reviews and people are saying that the movie is awesome. So I can't wait. I don't think I'm going to do a video about it, but I will definitely talk about it in our next Top of the Blogs. Okay. Are you going to go see Avengers Infinity War? Alright, you guys, let me get off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.